And then when you come out on the end of that, and I think that's great also that you also are giving them help along the way, giving them encouragement along the way, because that's powerful, being able to encourage people the way that you do, the way that you've encouraged me in these past couple of minutes, 30 minutes or so, that I've been encouraged by just hearing you. And I think it's great that you're able to show that emotion too, because that, to me, that emotion is powerful, and crying is healing. Crying is releasing things, and that's amazing. And I am much appreciative to hear you.
Oh, very much. And, let me say, healing from abuse, how I describe it, it feels like grace moving through us in slow motion. It's slow, but it's necessary because it really pushes us, it trains us, it transforms us. I mean, gosh, why would you not want to go through it? Why would you not want to bring something into your life that will propel you forward, right? And so I pray that, women will see that it's time to meet their courage. It is time to meet your courage. What broke you and cracked you, didn't take your life. So it is time to thread your courage into the needle of the wound you were given and designed. And here's the thing, at the end of all of this, she'll come out with so much strength and courage, not to overpower others, but she's like a warrior. She's like a Xena, I'm a warrior, and I'm going to come out and I'm going to help others. I'm going to propel them forward. I'm going to connect with others who are struggling, and we're going to be this mighty force that build our families, that build our communities up, that build our society up, right? And that's the change that the world is looking for. That's the change that we're wanting to see, right? But we have to become the change, and to become that change, you have to go through the process. You have to go through the process.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly. And we have Dr. Leonie Mattison on the line. It's been an amazing just listening to your journey and listening to how you've gotten to this point in your life, and with the book. We do have another question here. This is from Miss Mocabella. She says, have you forgiven the person who abused you?
Absolutely. I have so much compassion for these individuals, and I'll tell you something else. I wouldn't be able to speak the way I'm speaking today if I had not invited and extended the forgiveness. I've asked for public forgiveness. I've asked for forgiveness in private. I have written, and trust me, I've done it a couple of times, because there are times when you forgive and there are times when all kinds of stuff come and you're like, I'm going to take it back. But don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
I hear you there.
Don't do that. But yes, I have forgiven every single person that has abused me. I have forgiven them because that is actually the most powerful ingredient in all of this, is the power to own forgiveness extended. I wrote, if you go on my Facebook page, there's this quote that during my writing that I was inspired to write, and I'll read it to the listener. What's her name again?
Mocabella.
Miss Mocabella. I love that name, Mocabella. So, to Miss Mocabella, if you go on my Facebook page at Leonie H. Mattison, you will find this quote that I shared a couple weeks ago. And the quote reads, let me find it here. If you can forgive, if you can give love, if you can receive love, you can give love and forgive love. Does that make sense?
That does make sense, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
If we can receive it, and all of us want love, right? We want love and forgiveness. And so if we want to receive forgiveness, we have to forgive those who have trespassed against us. I don't make it a choice, and it's not an option anymore for me. It's no longer an option. I forgive you before you offend me.
Definitely. And that is a huge part about being married. I'm married. I've been married since 2008, 2005. So it's 14 years. Be 14 years in November. Yeah, don't mess that up. It'll be 14 years, and that is what it is all about. Forgiving, unconditional forgiveness, but also, like you said, is forgiving before something even happens. Just knowing that there is grace. That is almost like the definition of grace, having grace in whatever happens and being able to forgive, because this is someone that you are going to live with really for the rest of your life. But also they're going to make mistakes, and you're not going to see eye to eye every single day. That's virtually impossible to see eye to eye. So I mean, you have to. That's built in. Forgiveness has to be built in my opinion, in a marriage, because there's going to be so different opportunities where you're going to be hurt or things may happen.
Absolutely. And like I said, if we can give love, we can forgive love.
Right.
We can, and even if the person who offended us, women who have gone through abuses, etc., we can forgive, because, and I tell you the other thing that was a coming to Jesus moment for me, I survived.
Right.
I survived. And, the book gets really detailed and deep into some of those things that I survived. And so I don't make forgiving somebody else an option. I just do it because I need to. I have to. That's for me, for my soul's health. I don't make it an option. I'm much more healthier when I am extending forgiveness and love and humility and kindness and patience. I'm a much, much more better person to be around than when I'm around people who unforgiving character.
Right. Definitely. All of us. Definitely. So the book, The Thread, will be released November 2019. So coming up in the next couple of months. How can people pre-order the book?
Sure. So in the next, I would say, week, around August 4th, because the things we learn along the way is that on Amazon, you are allowed to put pre-orders up 90 days before the book is released.
Okay.
So I have to wait. In the meantime, they're welcome to visit my website, www.leonie, LeonieMattison.com, and you can. There should be a pop-up for you to submit your information, and but it will be available for them to pre-order on Amazon.com, or they can go ahead and start submitting information as of today.
Okay, and I'll put that website in the chat room. All of your information is there because I want people to see it. Also, if you're a Facebook friend of me, you got an invite to also follow and like Miss Leonie's Facebook, or Dr. Leonie's Facebook page, so that you can be on top of everything that she's doing when the book is released, where you can get it. You can get all of that information. So if you got that from me, make sure you like that page, because that is going to keep you informed on everything that is going on with this wonderful lady. So we talked about the pre-order, when it'll be available. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about the book that maybe you did not mention? Actually, there was another question. What's the favorite quote in the book?
Favorite quote. One of my favorite quotes reads, and I'll share. I posted it today on my Facebook page. Being intentional about burying the memories of abuse doesn't mean the reflection of the pain is gone. All it means is that you're deliberate about trusting God to transform your pain into ordained purpose.
Yes. Yes. And that is being able to transform that pain into purpose, like you said, it is that is life changing right there. You know.
Absolutely. I'll give you an example of what I mean in a practical sense. After the stroke was caused by stress and a whole bunch of other stuff. After I experienced a stroke, I reached out for help, and I had there's several people surrounding me, therapists, psychologists. I mean, I was gung-ho about getting well. I wasn't willing to sit in pity or, self-blame. I had a mission, and I was determined. And you have to understand, before I got the stroke, I got a dream. And in that dream, the Lord told me that I was called to be a speaker. And then I got a stroke.
Oh, wow.
That didn't at all. And so I'm like, was it a nightmare? Like, it didn't make sense to me, right? But anyway, I was able to share it with my counselor. I need help. I reached out. I need help. And this is what God told me. And I wrote it down because I couldn't talk. I wrote it down. And here's the other thing. So I'm getting help. I'm like, okay. I figured, all right, if I'm going to be speaking to women, I really need to get my act together. Like, I really need to make sure that I am qualified, because we live in America, and if you don't have the proper qualifications, nobody wants to listen to you, and that's just the reality of the environment that we live in. I went back to school. To pursue to finish my doctorate degree. I went back to school and earned a life coaching certificate, all while I was going through my healing. Something about the stroke ignited something in me. I cannot explain it, but it ignited this passion and determination, and I did it. I finished my degree, finished my doctorate, finished my life coaching certification, and started growing more in my career. I never I couldn't ignore that I'd gone through the stroke, right? There are evidence. I walk with a limp. If you look at my face, you'll see the little, residues of the Bell palsy is a little bit twisted. And I can give you all kinds of stories, but my gaze is not fixated on what I think are my imperfections or what I think isn't working very well for me. I am propelling myself forward. No more focusing my energy around what's not working. I'm focusing my energy on what is working for me and who is leading me. So that's practical. So it's not that the memories, they don't go away. The reflection is sometimes you turn around, you look, the reflection is there. Because once in a while we have to twist our neck, right? But it doesn't mean I stay looking backwards. I'm focusing forward. Right. So every time I've gone through something, God gives me the strength, He gives me the humph, the wisdom. He just clothes me with all of these things that helps me to propel myself forward. And I'm here to share with these women and to show them how to weave everything that you've been through together so that you can forge yourself forward as well.
Amen. And I think that this book, is not just, it is definitely for women, and I think also men can also be encouraged by it. And as especially if you're married or even if you're dating, to get to know your wife or your girlfriend or whoever, this would also be something I think for men as well.
Absolutely. So you touched on a really good little comment that you made, touch on a good point about. So the target population for this book are survivors of abuse, those brave women who feel they've made so many mistakes and fall short of God's perfect standards, and they're beating upon themselves, right? The second is victims of abuse, hurting women who are in a state of trauma, who feel stuck and need help to overcome the painful effects of abuse. The third, women's ministry leaders. This book needs to be in the women's ministry group as a study because they're the pioneers who provide spiritual care to these hurting women. And one of the things I'll say, this is not a one-hat-fit-all. all the scriptures in the Bible are for our growth and development, etc. But there comes a time